I'm here live with Alex Benson, one of the most influential people when it comes to Atlanta football and also recruiting, here on the 5-Star Flex. Welcome to the 5-Star Flex, where being a 5-star isn't just a ranking, it's a mentality. I'm your host, Phillip Duce, a.k.a. Duce D Scoop. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at Duce D Scoop, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. AB.
What's up, baby?
Oh, man. My guy. What's going on, AB?
Hey, man, life is absolutely amazing, man. I tell you what, first off, man, kudos to you. Kudos to you, man. My goodness, man, I'm so proud of what you've done. You deserve it. You deserve to be in the spot that you're at. So just glad to see you doing your thing. As far as down here in Atlanta, man, hey, we're having a great time. Spring football is going on. A lot of teams are trying to see what they got. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good players out there, a lot of good programs that are trying to take that next step. And there's some programs like, let's throw a Walton out there. Walton lost a lot of talent, but they still have more talent left. They're just young, and they have to see what that talent can do. So just a lot of good things going on here, man. Just glad to be on to talk about it.
Absolutely. So, Alex, for those who don't know you, like in Atlanta and in the Southeast, a lot of people do, but there may be some people who really don't tap in as much. Explain to those people who you are and who you are to Atlanta's football scene.
Sure, man. So years ago, probably about 16, 17 years ago, we started a version think of it like an ESPN for youth sports. And so what we said is we're going to cover the young guys, right? I know everybody's laughing at this first, and that's fine. We cover the ages 6th through 8th grade. And really was all just about celebration, right? We wanted to celebrate them and then do that. And as time went on, we recognized, hey, man, some of these guys can actually, take it a level, take it to another step. And so that's when we started with the college trips, right? We would say, okay, hey, we can identify these young men. Now, if their grades are where they need to be and they obviously have talent to move forward, hey, let us be the first ones to grab them and show them what the college life can be like before they get into high school so we can light that spark, right? That's all it's about, lighting that spark, right? Because what's going to separate you when you're going against hundreds that are just like you, and it's going to take that dedication, it's going to take that hard work. So let's show them what the future can look like. Let's push them forward. And with that formula right there, man, I think you look back now, years later, Georgia has become one of the top recruited states in the country because you can find everything here. And a lot of that has to do with us identifying those kids early, getting them onto college campuses and saying, hey, coach, you know what? Here's a rising 9th grader, right? Let's put him on your radar. And you, coach, you take care of it from there. Now, if they offer the kid, hey, congratulations, right? Good for them. But we just want to get them on their radar so you can start tracking them. And as they're doing good and those coaches feel they have earned the right to be offered a scholarship, coach, here they are. But we're not sitting back waiting, huh? Okay, we're going to go get it, man. And we're going to attack this thing full throttle like it's a 2-minute drill because we ain't got time. We ain't got time no more, right? You got the transfer portal. You got so many things going on with so many talented players available. We need to get in front of these coaches' eyes, show them the type of player we are, and we can move on from there.
No, that's amazing, man. So, during your travels and as you've really just kind of blossomed into in the city, you got to stop in with Alex Benson. If Alex Benson don't know you, then it's somebody that you want to get to know. I mean, when it comes to the football scene, you're one of those guys to know. Talk about some of the guys who've come through the program and who are doing really well, whether it be NFL or college.
Yeah, I think first we got to start with the 2 most popular ones as far as recent memory. Of course, you got Trevor Lawrence. He ended up being the number 1 pick. He's doing fantastic now. Then you had Trayvon Walker come right after him. He blessed us with his presence at the gala, was able to speak with the kids. We got to throw another one in there, Ant-Man, who's killing it right now.
Right.
But obviously, he chose to switch over to playing primarily basketball. I think it was his freshman year, sophomore year, somewhere around there. So those are a couple of players. If you look up north, you got Aaron Nolan, probably the most popular kid, the most popular 2 this past offseason. You had Caleb Downs. He's at Ohio State. And then, of course, the number 1 player in the country for the class of 2025, because he just reclassed up, depending on whose site you go to, is Julian Lewis, the quarterback at Carrollton. So those are just to name a few. Like I said, man, and no difference. Just look, you see a generational talent at a young age, and what's the difference in them and somebody else? Hey, let's get them on the map right now, man. Let's show those coaches what you can do so they can go ahead and follow you. They can make their own opinions. They can go from there. One thing I can say that I want to get this in, the great thing about what we do, if we do stamp a kid, is because those coaches have such a great track record with us over the years, then look, at least you know this kid can be a contributor to your program. He will play multiple snaps, and he will impact the game the best he can. So, those are things that coaches want to see, and those are players that we can identify and hopefully move forward with.
So let's just talk about the way that Georgia recruiting is, and the way Georgia is basically a hotbed. You have to recruit Georgia. You have to recruit this area in order to, and especially Atlanta, Metro Atlanta area. What do you think is a common denominator in the kids in this area? Like, what makes them so special, or what is it that makes these coaches just fawn at the fact of coming to Atlanta?
Because you can get everything here. You can get everything from your linemen, OL to DL, to your running backs, linebackers, to your secondary guys, receivers. Matter of fact, it's probably going to be the best receiving class we've had a long time with this class of 2025 young gentlemen, 2025, 26, excuse me. And then obviously you can come and get quarterbacks here. So when you can stop into an area and you're a coach and you have only limited time of what you can do, probably limited resources depending on where they're putting their money at, you can come to the Metro Atlanta area and get everything you need to get. And here's the thing, even if you might not get everything you need to get, a location like On 3, if they wanted to do an event here, they know they can get everything they want to get because you have a lot of the top players here. So, it's good for business. You know what I'm saying? It's good for business. Right. So I think that's why you want to recruit Georgia. And then the other thing is, too, like I said, not only do we identify the kids at young age, and we talked about getting them on college trips and everything like that, but also, too, we talk to the parents and say, hey, your kid has talent. Let's go ahead and get him with a trainer. It ain't got to be us. I don't do no training. But there are multiple trainers in the Atlanta metro area that travel from the metro area to all over the state of Georgia, and they train these kids, man, because, look, it's not about being really position specific at a young age, but it's saying let's work on this skill set. So if you do keep growing, let's say a lineman, right? Let's say 6'2" going into high school. All right, let's get you with an O-line trainer, whether it's Joshua Velocity or Kevin with the big OL. Let's get you with them, and let's work on your technique, because we're not training for today. We're training for when we step on that college campus. We're going to be able to compete. Now, here's the thing. Let's just say he grows 6'2" and he stays at 6'2". All right, coach. Hey, we've been working so hard. We can slide down the center, right? We probably had to play left tackle for our high school team because, high school's high school. But we can slide down the center, coach, like Walt at UCF, and we ready to go, baby. We ready to go. You slide us in here day one because we've been working so hard that this ain't nothing, coach. Just give us an opportunity. So those are the things that you have. You have amazing quarterback trainers here, receiver trainers, DB trainers. You have those guys here, speed and agility guys, that when they get on campus, coach, they are ready to go and be productive from day one. Because like you said, in the college atmosphere this time, we need, it used to be 80%, 20% develop. Right now it's 90%. 10%, your ass better be ready to go. So I hate to say it that way. And I know coach be like, Alex, man, we still develop. I know you do. I get it. But at the same time, that's what has to happen now in this day and age.
So to speak about specific recruiting, like the people who watch this show, they care about who's going to their school.
Okay.
What schools would you say recruit the Metro Atlanta area the best? I know Georgia's going to be one of them, but just talk about the schools that you hear the most about and what you think they do well.
Well, I think it's the big ones, man. I mean, you got Auburn, Georgia, Clemson, Ohio State. USC just peeked their nose in here recently with messing with Julian. Then they got Justice Terry down in Manchester. I think that's a lot actually has to do with Julian. I think he's working it. He's working it if he's going to continue to go there, which it looks like he is now. So I would say those would be the schools. I mean, the power schools, about Alabama. We'll see how they do with the new coaching staff now. I know they just got that young man out of Rome. I can't remember his name right now, but he's a phenomenal player.
Duke Johnson.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. He's a monster, man.
Yeah.
He's a monster at linebacker. Oh, my God. Yeah. I watched the film the other day because my son's team has to play them in the Corky Kell. Whoo!
Okay.
That boy out there changed religion, boy. Hey, boy, you go down to atheist, you're gonna come up with a Catholic when that joker hit you, boy. So
yeah, he got something now.
He got some pop to him.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what we noticed. Tennessee comes as well. So I would just say the Southeast, and then of course your big programs outside of that. I haven't seen Michigan really come into the area too tough, or some other programs that people might know about. But that's kind of the ones that stand out to us.
When you talk to schools, or excuse me, when you talk to these recruits, because a lot of them, they do come talk to you when they're making their decision, and you cover a lot of them. What do you think the biggest thing is in today's world? Like before, we talked about, like you said, we talked about development before, and we talked about proximity before. To the kids that you have been able to touch, or the kids that you have been in your circle, what's been the most important recruiting factor, especially to these Metro Atlanta kids?
Well, all right. So I'm trying to think what I can tell you. So there's a question you'll always get, right? Do you like them or do you love them? You know what I'm saying? That's the question that we always get, and we'll answer accordingly. Because one thing that I take so seriously dealing with these coaches, recruiters, whatever you want to call them, scouts, the thing I take so seriously, even when working with you, is this is somebody's job. Right? This is how somebody feeds their family, right? And there's not a lot of, let's go with the low end, right? There's not a lot of $150,000 jobs for doing this, what we do, laying around, where you can send your kid to the private school, Mrs. probably at home, whether she wants to work or not, that's between you guys, but you provide a very comfortable lifestyle for them to have. And so when you look at it that way, then you appreciate these people a lot more, because this is their job, right? Forget coaches. This is their job. They're an employee. Now, when you look at it that way, then you come to them and you give them factual things. Hey, coach, here's how this young man fits into your system. Hey, coach, here's his work ethic. Here's his family life. Here's everything you need to know so you can make an informed decision. Again, I will never tell anybody to offer a kid or to not offer a kid. All I can do is just say, hey, coach, here's what it is. You can make your decision based off that. Now, you can ask me, will I offer him? Then I will give you my answer. But no, that's exactly how we do it, man. And we just provide as much information as possible for those coaches to make their decision.
No, absolutely. And when it comes to the kids, so I know some of the kids and the recruits that I had talked to previously, it seemed like at one point in time, it was proximity was the thing. It's like, you know what? I don't want to go that far from home. Yeah. And then it changed from that. And then it went from, man, I just want to be a part of a championship. I want to go to a contender. And then now it seems like NIL, like, man, who's got the bag? I'm starting to hear that more often. What do you, when you're in these locker rooms and when you're around the game, what are you hearing the most about that's attracting kids to colleges?
Man, it's a multiple of things, man. Every family is different. Every kid is different. NIL is huge right now, and you can't blame them. You done busted your tail. And I know what some coaches say. I know, I get it. But, here's how I try to explain to people. Imagine bills are barely getting paid, right? Imagine, you got a car outside that's doing the clunker, right?
Right.
Going to the refrigerator, you ain't got nothing in there that you want. You're blessed that God has blessed you with something, but you don't have what you want. So now can you blame these families for now they're in a position to make something to ask? Because it's available now. And I don't think nothing's wrong with that at all, right? It shouldn't be your main thing, but you can't blame them for asking because now it's available. So NIL is a real thing. But then also too, we try to tell the kids is you need to go somewhere where you can get on that field early. Because if you don't get on that, you got 2 years.
Right.
And I know it sounds messed up. The freshman year, they'll give it to you, that's whatever that's going to be, right? Hopefully you develop your body, all those kind of things. But by that sophomore year, if you're not on that field producing somehow, contributing somehow, here comes that transfer portal to go ahead and move you up out of there. And then a tough conversation has to be had between the coach and the player where they're going to say, hey, we're going to move on from you, and you probably won't get a lot of reps here, so you probably should go into the transfer portal. So those are things that we're seeing. NIL does matter, but also playing time. So I haven't heard anything about proximity anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If anything, I mean, it ain't even about cold no more, because kids are like, let's go. But wherever you get on the field, like one of the best moves I've ever seen is kid recently, Daquan White. Daquan White goes up to Eastern Michigan, becomes an all-conference player. It's a fit for him, even though he had, schools that we talk about daily wanting to recruit him, but he went what was a fit for him, and now he's doing fantastic. You know what I'm saying? So, again, that's what we hear about, playing time early, and also NIL is the thing. Yeah.
In this class, in the 2025 class,
mm-hmm.
I want to ask you about a couple of names that I know you know well.
Okay.
I want you to tell me about them from, if I was a coach,
mm-hmm.
what would you say about this player?
Okay, go ahead.
Let's start with Julian Lewis.
Yeah. Generational. It's here though. It's here.
Okay.
Think of Bryce Young. Think of I don't want to say Tom Brady. That's too much pressure on a kid. But think of in those modes though, right? Think of those guys that were cerebral, right? Will understand, hey, if it's a zone, why are we running crossers, right? If it's man, why are we sitting, right? You know what I'm saying? Why are we sitting down? Because you got to run away from it, obviously. So he understands the game so much. He's been playing quarterback at a young level. Mechanics are flawless, so the ball's going to come out how you want it to come out. But he understands it so much that it's almost like you're talking to a genius, a savant, and you ask him a question with football, but you need to be prepared to have that conversation, because if you're not, he'll slide you to the side. You know what I'm saying? But no, I think he can be as good as any quarterback out there, depending on obviously where he goes to college and how those opportunities play out for them, because we know in college nothing is guaranteed.
Okay. Let's talk about Travis Smith of Westlake.
Monster. It's funny. I'm glad you asked, because we're trying to decide right now who is the top receiver in the state, right? And you have a couple of them out there. You might talk about it right now, but you have a couple of them out there for various reasons why we think what they are. Here's one thing we can say about Travis Smith. No other receiver garnered as much attention from the defense and still produced, right? Here's the thing. Cedar Grove, Westlake, game on the line. They're driving. You know who they're going to.
Right.
The whole stadium knows who they're going to. And what does he do? They throw it deep to him. I don't know why they played a man on that one. They throw it deep to him, goes over the shoulder, catches the ball, gets up, flexes, ball game. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he is the most consistent big time player right now, arguably in the state of Georgia, when the game's on the line.
Let's stay at Westlake. Let's talk about you said monster. They got another one.
Yeah.
By the name of Juan Gaston Jr.
Yeah.
Tell me something about Juan.
The most athletic big man we've seen come through the state of Georgia. He's phenomenal. He can dunk a basketball. I love my basketball players when they're linemen. Love them, because it just shows a different type of athleticism to it. It might not be a skill, but they gonna use all the fouls. But it's all good.
Right.
But just smart, great family. Dad was a baller too, so he comes from a good bloodline, good stock. Mom, corporate woman, very, very educated. Right, IQ is through the roof, and he hasn't even reached his potential, Coach. Some of these guys are doing a lot of training and different things like that, and so some of them going to college maxed out already. That is what it is. But this young man here, he has the ability to be a top 5 pick. And
wow.
Oh no, I mean it. I mean it, because a kid like that. Once he goes to school, obviously the ability is going to be there, right? They're going to work with him. They're going to get the skill set there, all that kind of stuff. But he's a guy, just like we said about Trayvon years ago, and I told everybody, I said, when Trayvon tests, he does his testing, you ain't going to be able to turn your eyes away, because he's big, fast, strong. And
Right.
so Juan will be the same way when he does his testing. Just like we got a kid that's very similar to Kelsey. I can't remember Kelsey's last name, down in North Clayton. Big, fast, strong, always wins out. And that's just what it is.
Right. Man, let's go. This is getting fun now. So I think you had some contact with Justice Terry, huh?
Justice Terry, oh God, he was hey, he's huge. He's huge. You know what I'm saying? Big athlete. Big athlete.
Okay.
You're getting a kid that, usually from those smaller towns, their work ethic is yes sir, no sir. He has had a lot of attention since he first came in. And I think, I know they're saying he's committed right now, but I always say whenever I hear that, I just say wherever their kids want to go to college. So it's no disrespect to any colleges, but wherever he goes to school at, they got a good one.
Okay. I think so I want to talk about, before we get out of here, I want to talk about the football per county. All right, so your son just made a big move. I believe he was at Parkview.
Yep, he's at Parkview,
which is a Gwinnett County school, and now he's in South Fulton, Fulton County School at Creekside. Quarterback. Creekside has a loaded team. They play a national schedule. Last year things didn't go as well they wanted to when they played Modern Day, and but just that impact of playing that national schedule helps you in the state. Yeah. Talk to me about the differences in the counties, if there is any, and why you guys made that move.
Man, differences in county. Okay. And when I say
Caden Benson, I want to make sure I say his name. Caden Benson.
Yeah, Caden Benson. You know what? Here's the thing when it comes to differences in county, what I've noticed. Okay. With, let's say a Gwinnett County, Cobb County, they have something in South Georgia does as well. They have something what is called feeder programs. Okay. Now, for those that don't know what feeder programs are, a feeder program is your youth program that you are kind of over, so to speak, as a high school. And with these kids, 9 times out of 10, these kids go to your high school and they're running your system at a young age. And so the compatibility is there, the knowledge is there, where by the time they hit high school, they're running everything like a well-oiled machine. Because the reality of it is, in high school football, you only need a couple of dogs, right? And then everybody else just to do their doggone job for us to compete at a high level. Okay, I'll give you an example. Mill Creek. Mill Creek only probably had 2 guys when they won state championship that you would think of that were true Power 5 guys, obviously Power 4 now, depending how you chat the conversation. Those 2 guys. That was Jamal's boy, Anderson, and Caleb, right? Caleb Downs. Okay. Everybody else knows the system and they can do their job. When you know your system, you do your job, you play fast. Okay. Great coaching, take care of it, and resources they have. All right. Now, when you go down to South Fulton, all right, the reason that made that Langston Hughes team so good, because even though they didn't have a feeder, they had a really, really good youth team in the area, and all those kids decided to go to Langston Hughes, which made them special. And you saw what happens when an elite youth football team can stay together and run the gambit. They set records, okay?
Right.
They should have been playing on national schedule because that team was unreal. I just thought it was personally.
Yeah, for sure.
So those are the big things that I've noticed. It's just a feeder program. And so when a coach gets his high school players in South Fulton, he has to coach them hard. Because you only got so much time where I can make you remember all this stuff and put you in that heat so you'll play fast. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Those 2 things are so monumental for a coach to have what he needs to have so his team can play at a high level. So first off, great job of those Gwinnett coaches for managing such a big program, including those feeder programs. But also, too, we have to congratulate those South Fulton coaches because they're working from scratch. When those freshmen come in and they have to either reteach them something or just teach them something in general to get them to play fast, to get them to play at a high level. So those kind of are the small differences that I've seen that mean a lot to me. And then also, too, just resources, man. you know, when you look at a Gwinnett County school, they have their own stadium. They're able to keep a lot of their money. And I don't want to say about South Fulton, but let's just say like APS, DeKalb County, that money that, let's say, Cedar Grove makes, very popular team that people know about. That money they make has to be split with the entire county. You see what I'm saying? So it's not the same. You don't get to keep your resources. You don't get to keep to do certain things that you need to be to remain competitive at a high level. So again, those coaches that coach in those areas, just hats off to them, because it's not like it can't happen. It's just that and I'm probably gonna take some heat for this. It's just that those school boards need to adjust the way they look at things so they can figure out how to help these programs better.
Man, well, you just said what a lot of people are thinking. And man, kudos to you for, just really just taking a stand on that, because when you look at like what a school like Langston or what you've been able to accomplish with less.
Yes.
What Cedar Grove's been able to do with less.
Yeah.
And it just, it's really amazing to me how these schools still bind together and are able to have such competitive football teams that put out gobs of Division I talent, and also they compete for state championships. All right, Alex. So tell me about Duce Recruiting.
Yeah, man. You know what? Duce Recruiting is something that I'm really proud of. We kind of stay in the 9th grade and 10th grade range, right? We're going to stay in our sweet spot. We're going to stay where we know. And from there, we say, okay, before we start this, who are we going to get to head this thing up, man? And we kind of had to go back, and we asked a couple of people if they wanted to do it. We had a couple of yeses, a couple of no's, but we ended up landing on Gary Downs. And Gary Downs, former football player at NC State, and played with the Giants and with the Falcons. And then he was a high school coach as well. He moved on to become a college coach. He was coaching at East Tennessee State and working in the recruiting department. Also, from a parent standpoint, he has Josh Downs, who just set the rookie record for most receptions at the Indianapolis Colts. And then, of course, Caleb Downs, who garnered national attention this year at Alabama, transferring over to Ohio State. Who I think will be a first-round draft pick. So you have somebody so knowledgeable that understands the game and that has a lot of great relationships. He seemed, just to me, like the right person to do it. We talked to him. We had those different discussions. We made that hire, and we put him over Duce Recruiting, and it's been great, man. It's been great because he can identify, even though I'm good and I feel I'm really good, but I think you got to surround yourself with people that are better than you. You have to. And I wouldn't have hired. We wouldn't have brought him in if I didn't think he was better than me. And I mean better than me as far as when it comes to football and his eye and all that kind of stuff. And so he's come in. And the coaches love him in the state of Georgia, in the Southeast. Great relationships, and he identifies talent like that. And it's been good. It's been good. So it's just been chill, and we've just been giving him the resources he needs to go ahead and do his thing. So if you look at our high school game the past 2 years, it's been fantastic. A lot of great talent in it as far as the freshman game. And then also, too, as far as, when a coach calls him, it's a little different than when they call me, right? When they call me, Alex, what's up, man? Laughing, joking, whatever. And we have a great conversation. We go from there. But with Coach Downs is going to tell you, hey, this is your system you run, this is that. Here's why, Coach. And his stamp is way better than my stamp will ever be, and that's just a fact of life. You know what I'm saying? Right. Because again, you're dealing with a coach, played at a high level, just left the college rank as a recruiter and a running back coach, and he's done such a good job with his children. They're at a high level, including his daughter, who's like the smartest human being, one of the smartest human beings on earth, attaining her degree. You see what I'm saying? So, who would have been great in soccer, but she had an injury. That's his oldest. So, that's kind of what you're looking at, and it's been really, really good for us.
Man, Alex, so you actually, and I'm going to let you go, but you broke the Caleb Downs transfer news.
Yeah. Yeah. We you know, with Caleb, it's funny we said this because with Downs, I never talked to him about it.
Okay.
Never talked to him about it. You know, no matter what was going on or whatever, I always told him, I said, don't tell me anything because I don't want somebody talking to me and I accidentally mess up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if you are truly good friends, then you respect somebody and respect your decision, right? Remember you said, Alex, hey, I'm going somewhere. I was like, hey, Dupes, I'm happy for you. Don't tell me. Whenever you get there, I'm rolling with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I think that's what real friends do. And so, you know, when that moment came, we made that decision to go ahead and finally talk about it, and it went from there, man. But God, man, kudos to Caleb. I think he handled that move so well, and he's going to be Ohio State got not a good one, but a great football player and even a better young man. And the great thing about getting the a member from the Downs family is you get that family, and that's a great family. They're going to just represent Ohio State in a fantastic way, and they'll be very proud of the man he is on the field. Obviously, he'll make plays, but also off the field, him and his family.
Man, Alex, where can everybody find you on social media?
Hey, man, you can go to Born to Compete, and that's got to spell it out there. Born to Compete. That'll be on Facebook. That'll be on Twitter. That'll be on Instagram, all your social media platforms. We don't post as much to YouTube like we used to. Obviously, with a TV deal, a lot of our stuff goes there now with NBC 11 Alive. But, you know, if you're on YouTube, you can see our stuff there as well.
Man, it's been a pleasure. We got to do it again, dog.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm ready whenever you're ready, homie.